Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the food plants that I am growing and that I'm raising out here on my deck. So take you around and show you a couple of those. I am kind of nervous and excited about something. I am going to do like my first ever open yard about a month from now. And so I'm thinking that I could sell some of these seedling starts. I made a bunch of extra ones of plants that you're not ordinarily going to find at your farmers markets or your nurseries. So these are a little bit more specialized heirlooms and F1 hybrids and things like that. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to show you what I've been growing, and then I actually have a lot of interesting things on this deck. But I encourage you to stick around to the end because I have waited 3 years for this one native plant to bloom, and it's blooming and it's on my deck, and I am going to show it to you. Welcome to my YouTube channel, 90% Native. My name is Michelle and I grow native plants and I garden for the wildlife. So as I was saying, I want to do my first ever kind of like open yard and a little itty bitty plant sale to sell some heirloom tomatoes, F1 hybrids, really cool peppers if I can get them looking okay in the next month, and so that people can just walk around my yard and my landscape and see all the different projects that I'm working on, all the different experiments that I have done, because I have lots of things around the yard like native plant hedgerows and wildlife wattle fences and different plant combinations that may not be typical and that people might, you know, like to see. And so hoping to do that and the little plant sale. I may have some natives available because I always grow tons and tons of natives. So anyway, I am getting ready for that, and while I do that, I'll go ahead and show you what is going on my deck. Okay guys, so first up, what is here on my deck? This right here, these are all peppers, and these are all tomatoes. These are all the different varieties that I would like to sell. So I've made about, I don't know, 8 to 10 of each. Okay guys, so let's start with the peppers. I have shishitos. I have, let's see, what are these? Habanadas. Now the habanadas are habaneros without the heat. I thought that would be really cool and interesting for people to try, especially my daughter and my husband. Then we have a flat of orange bells. And here's more nata pinos. I have mini bell peppers, which would be great for container gardening. And then I have back here on this back row are habanadas. So again, habaneros without the heat. These guys here are, oh, cayenne. The long thin cayenne is right here. And then this is also a big, oh, here are the red marconis. Here are the red marconis. Then here I have nata pinos, big red peppers, and then these ajis, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the second part of the name, but anyway, they got off to a rough start. I think I am bringing them back. These are supposed to be like the most expensive pepper for chefs to get, like really expensive, and I'm growing them just for novelty and for people to try, not to actually sell to chefs. But anyway, I just thought that would be something that's really cool. And these are my tomatoes here, and they're tiny right now. So the tomatoes here are really small because I only started them like a month ago. What I wanted to do was give them like a really good start outside, as opposed to bringing up and having to manage a bunch of tomatoes in my basement, which is always kind of a pain in the butt. So anyways, I started them about 4 weeks ago. What I did is got them all sewed up and then put them in my basement for a little while just so that they can emerge, and then I started bringing them out. So the weather is supposed to be good until next week. So next week There's going to be a few nights that get down into the 40s, like the mid 40s. So I'm going to bring everything in those nights. And then after that, we're looking good for the long haul. The tomato varieties that I started, I'm super excited about. There's so many. So what I did is I just did like 8 of each pretty much, just to, you know, give them a try and just have fun and let people experiment. But these are baby Romas. This is Werawaki, if that's how you pronounce it, Tiny Tim, and then we have Mexican Midget. Here is Rosa de Bern, Lemon Boy, Paul Robeson, and Dr. Weish's. All of these are my good plastic pots from Bootstrap Farmer, and I love these pots. It's really good quality plastic that I'm going to be able to use for so many years. So I'm going to transfer these plants into cow pots. I bought 400 cow pots so that they could easily be just directly planted into the ground. Over here I have Soldaki, and this is Costa Luto. And you guys, if you follow any of the same gardeners on YouTube that I do, like James Prigioni or Roots and Refuge or Whispering Willow Farm, you will recognize these tomato names. And then over here, these are ones that I didn't necessarily grow to sell, just because I didn't think they were as interesting as the other ones. So I grew them for myself. I am growing so many tomatoes this year. So we have Chef's Choice Orange, Early Girl, Amish Paste, San Marzano, Homestead, Soldaki, what is that one? Big Rainbow, Pink Oxheart, Moneymaker, Marion, Arkansas Traveler, Blue Strawberry, Small Red Cherry, Berries Crazy Cherries, Blue Boreberries, Grand Marshal, Super Sweet 100, and more Super Sweet 100. I am going to sell those because I forgot to do a whole row of those. These are some of the cherry tomatoes, so these are going to be for, I'm going to try and sell, but these are Sun Gold. This is Dwarf Geranium Kiss. Then we have Champagne Bubbles and Cherry Bomb. And then here's some just like side items, I guess you will, that I planted. And we have Mrs. Burns Lemon Basil, Cinnamon Basil, and then Big Leaf Basil. So those are the pepper and tomato and basil varieties that I'm growing. They're all kind of like just specialty heirloom and F1 hybrids that you're not going to get at your local nursery and things like that. So I thought that would be cool to just do like the one-offs and see if people like it. So now let me show you some of the food I'm growing on the deck for myself in containers. So first up, before we get to the food, I wanted to show you this really pretty combination. This is a black lace elderberry. It's not native, so I pulled it up on the deck after I got into native plants. So it's really pretty, and it has these like purple leaves in it. So what I did is I moved the primroses from out in the yard, which I inherited with this property, and I thought that the yellow and the purple and the green would just contrast so nicely, and I'm loving it. And this was a happy accident. This heuchera, that's a cultivar, it's not the straight species because the leaves are purple, so I put this one up on the deck too. Look how nicely that purple and yellow go together, and they're opposites on the color wheel, so they are really going to stand out. Here is the plantain sedge. Look, the blooms are over and the seed heads are there, so I think I'm going to save those seed heads. It seems to germinate really well around here. Let me come back here. Do you remember when I regeneratively pruned the New Jersey tea? There it is, coming back like crazy. Okay, so behind me right here is my vegetable container garden, which I'm really going to experiment with this year so that you guys can see what I'm doing and then maybe do some of it yourself if you're new to gardening. But anyway, here are a lot of more spring vegetables, and then those will transition into dwarf varieties of tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers. I actually have already reserved one of those for the mini bells. First up, we have radish crimson red. These were from Haas Tools. And then over here I have summer savory. Behind it I have chamomile. I need to put a layer of leaf mulch on here to keep the moisture in, just an FYI. Then I have lemon balm. Over here is, let's see. Oh, this is purple plum radish. My rainbow chard is just starting to sprout here. I don't know if you can see them right there. Hold on. Right there. I will thin those to 1. So I just want, I think, 5 in there to experiment with. Back here I have some giant forward hook chard. I will thin those as well. Here is some bok choy that needs to be thinned. Right here I have crystal white wax onions that I got from M.I. Gardner. Here's Claytonia that overwintered. Here are the Helios radishes from Haas Tools. They are yellow. With the radishes, I think I'm going to try and ferment them and see if I like that. More of the crystal white wax onions. This I'm going to throw a mini bell pepper in probably today. Here is watermelon radish, and these are from Baker Creek. I'm hoping to get something cool off of here and ferment. Over here are my garden peas, and I have this trellis to carry them up through the growing season, although I'm not sure how many I'll get because it gets so hot here so fast. Here is the viburnum that I am training as a tree. I did a video on that. There's the big one and the little one. Here's my flame azalea. I'm going to pot that up. Now here's what I wanted to show you guys. I have waited 3 years for these blooms. Do you guys know what this is? I mean, it's so beautiful. This is the native Pinkster azalea. I can't really plant it out and get blooms. I'm doing an experiment right now, but just to go ahead and do it without, to hopefully get blooms, it's not going to work because this is like deer candy. This is the first year I've had the blooms. Look at them. They're like spectacular. It doesn't look like something that would be native here. Anyway, very, very excited about this plant. And here is my black huckleberry right there. So yeah, this is what's growing on the deck for my open yard. This deck needs to be cleaned up. That's why I've pushed some of the chairs out of the way, so I'll get everything swept off the deck. I'll probably move all of my vegetables over to that area, so it's off to the side, and this is more of an area where you can look over the deck and see the woodland garden. Can you guys believe from like 1 month ago it was totally bare, and now it's getting covered with green every year? It's hard to believe that this will actually happen. Okay, so yeah, getting ready to attempt to do this open yard. I am going to have my parents come over this weekend. They're going to help me. Maybe I will introduce you guys to them. And I still have to do their little plot of native plants too. Oh yeah, I'll probably do that next week and video it. Anyway, I'm super excited about this growing season, and I would love to hear from you guys if you have experimented with any of these tomatoes and peppers and things like that. I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. And if this is content that appeals to you, I would love it if you would subscribe and share my channel with your gardening friends. I'm really excited to do this open yard thing. It's kind of out of my wheelhouse. I am kind of a shy person if you don't know me, but if you know me, I'm actually not. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. And oh, if you live in my local area, make sure you follow me on Facebook and Instagram so you can get the details of the plant sale. On Instagram, I'm 90%.native, and then on Facebook, I think it's just 90% sign native. So anyway, follow me on those social media places as well, because I'd love to see anybody that's local here when I do this. And I'm thinking about doing it on May 13th with a rain date of May 14th, which that would be Mother's Day. Anyway, that's it for today. Just a quick little tour of what's going on in my future plans. If you're still here with me, thank you so much for taking your time to join me today. Happy gardening, and I will catch you again next time.